Good evening, everybody. We are back. We are back. Peter Rugby Eater is back. Guys, I'm back because it's the start of the real rugby season. We are now at the quarterfinal stage, knockout stages of the URC European Cup, and very soon it will be the return of the Springboks. So, tonight's live stream, it promises to be very interesting. I've got two guests that's going to join me pretty soon. We're going to discuss the game between the Stormers and the Bulls and what each team must do to win this Saturday's very important clash between the juggernauts of SA Rugby. So, guys, put your feet up. I hope you guys have a beverage or two nearby. Relax. There's going to be a chilled live stream. Interact with us in the comment section. I like to read the comments and interact with you guys. So please comment in the comment section, and we're going to enjoy this evening together. So without further ado, let me welcome my guests that will join me on the stream. First, we've got Mr. Driver, or let me say Jason. Jason, good evening.
Good evening, Peter Rugby Eater.
Thank you. Then our second guest is Kyle, the Blue Bulls man. Good evening, Kyle.
Evening, Mr. Peter. Evening, Mr. Jason Driver.
Excellent, excellent. Now, just a quick introduction. Jason is a very staunch, old school Western Province Stormer supporter, and Kyle is a very dedicated Blue Bull supporter, as you can see there. So, if there's any Blue Bulls supporters watching the stream, Kyle is your man. If there's Stormers, Western Province guys in the stream, Jason is your man. So, guys, this live stream I'm going to structure in two segments. The first segment will be our news and notes. I'm going to cover a couple of news and notes that was occurring during the week. And then the second part of the stream will be a nice preview on the game between the Stormers and the Bulls this coming Saturday at the DHL the DHL Stadium in Cape Town. So, guys, news and notes. So, today there was a revealing done. Let me just bring up the screen over here, the share screen. So there was a revealing done by the Sharks today. Just give me a second. I'm just going to move this guy over here. Whereby they announced the return of someone. Now this guy, he took the Sharks to a very high level. That was during the time of Super Rugby, where the Sharks played in, I think, 1 or 2 finals in Super Rugby. He led the Sharks to the first Currie Cup win since 1996. And this guy, I think his wife is from Durban. His wife's family is from Durban. He coached the Hurricanes a few years back in Super Rugby. He then became the All Blacks assistant forwards coach under Ian Foster. And obviously, we all knew the turmoil the All Blacks went through last year, whereby Ian Foster, he sacked his whole assistant coaches. And after 10 months, John Plumtree has signed a contract with the Sharks. So, guys, I think this is very exciting news for South African rugby in the whole. Having a guy like John Plumtree, his caliber within our game locally, I think it will just take the Sharks itself and South African rugby to a higher level. What do you guys think about John Plumtree? Do you think he can take the Sharks into a better direction?
I'll go first. John Plumtree is a very good coach. I used to watch the show on Supersport that he was with, like where they analyzed rugby games. And when it comes to forwards, I don't think there's a better man. So, especially with the Sharks looking to have a strong forward pack, I think Plumtree will take them to a next level with that.
Yes, no, most definitely. So this is an article that was written this morning now on SA Rugby Mag, where they just gave a little bit of history from John Plumtree, where they say here that Plumtree began his coaching career in 2007, and when he was the assistant coach under Dick Meyer. Now I know those years the Sharks, they were very good. This was in the heyday of John Smith, the Beast, JP Peterson, Bismarck du Plessis, all those guys that time they played for the Sharks and they were like very strong. And I know that they were in the final with the Bulls as well in the 2012 final. I think. Am I right, Cal? With
And
the Bulls final.
2007, and they lost. Abana lost when they try.
That's right. Yes, that's right. That's right. So I'm actually very chuffed the fact that John Plumtree is back in the country and back in South Africa as a coach. Then, guys, the other piece of news and notes that I just want to cover quickly here is they say that SA Rugby lost some money. Now, let's bring it up here. So SA Rugby, they now obviously joined Europe. They joined the URC. Apparently, they made 1.5 billion rand in the in 2022, which was last year, and that was up from 1.2 billion. South Africa actually made more money during last year. However, they still have a loss of 2.6 million rand. Now, some people who don't understand the dynamics, they're raising the eyebrows to say, how can SRIP lose 2.6 million? However, if you take it as per the context versus New Zealand lost $500 million last year. Oh, sorry, 500 million rand last year. So 500 million rand versus 2.6 million rand, I think that's African rugby is basically on a very stable footing. However, the issue here is with SA Rugby is the fact that they're not permanent members of the URC yet. They signed a 4-year contract or deal where only after the 4th year they become like a full member, and after the 4th year they will get like a cut from the pie. So currently South Africa is paying the URC 300 million rand to be in the tournament, to be in the URC. So SA Rugby is not getting actually money from the URC. They are paying money to Ireland, Wales, Scotland, Italy to be part of the URC. However, obviously, this is like a investment after next year, in the year 2025. Then only South Africa will be then brought in as a full member, whereby they will get in a share of the pie. And obviously, the way I can see it for the future, it will just put South Africa at a better level because hopefully, with all that money coming in, we can then basically retain all our best players in the country. Hopefully, whereby they can have like a shared contract, maybe 50% can be with SA Rugby, and the 50% covered by the franchises, and that's why they can compete with the big clubs in France and that. So I'm very excited about this, guys. SA Rugby, the finances, even though they lost 2.6 million, I think that the finance overall is a very, very healthy thing, guys. Finally, for the news and notes, I just want to quickly cover Rassie Erasmus being head coach after the World Cup. What's your opinion on that? Do you guys think it's a good move? Do you think that SA Rugby should have actually gotten like someone from outside or someone from inside to coach the box after Jacques Inaber? What's your opinion on that matter of Rassie coming back as coach?
If I can touch on that, Peter, from my side, no, it will be. It's basically continuity. Because obviously, most people are already of the opinion that even though Jacques Nienaber is the face of the Springboks, many people are of the opinion that Rassie Erasmus is actually the brains behind the coaching staff right now. So basically, if Rassie is back into the forefront, it's basically just that continuity that is carrying over, that is already in place. So it can only be a good thing from my side.
No, 100%. But do you think, Cal, that Rassie will be different without this right-hand man with him, without Jacques with him? Do you think it will be like a change in Rassie's approach to the Springboks?
I don't think. I think Rassie's still gonna be the same, but I think he won't last long. He's going to, because I heard the rumors that he's eyeing the Crusaders post that's left open by Razor Robertson. So
Ooh, Rassie.
I think I heard that he wants to coach there. He's looking for a different challenge. So I think he's gonna leave after.
But I thought that was April Fool joke. I saw the same report, but I think that report came on the first of the first of April, where someone posted that post that Rassie wants to coach the Crusaders. Okay, are you there, Cal? Okay, I think it's a technical glitch on Cal's side. Okay, now it's right. Yeah, so Rashi Erasmus is earmarked to return as the Springbok head coach. But I still believe that Rashi might not be the same Rashi Erasmus as 2019 without Jacques Nienaber being on his side. Because Jacques Nienaber was the guy that was. I know there was one instance in the World Cup final against England, that moment where the Boks were defending the goal line. I think that was like for 15 or 10 minutes with the Boks were defending. Then in the background, you will see Zach Nienaber standing there and shouting to the guys where they must go, where they must stand. So he was like a hands-on guy on the field for Rassie Erasmus to actually give instructions himself, being the defense coach. So having someone like that on the field, basically directing the players, that's something priceless. I don't think any other country in the world had that in their team. So I think let's wait and see. Hopefully Rassie surprises us, and hopefully can take the Boks to a higher level. But overall, I think in total, the Springboks, they need to bring in a different dynamic. Many people say that John Dobson must coach the Springboks, but I say no. Leave John Dobson where he is at the Stormers. The Stormers must first dominate and win many URCs and European Champions Cup before Double can go to the Springboks.
Franco Smith is there from Glasgow. Oh, Johan Ackerman. Good coaches for Springbok. Franco Smith from Glasgow and Johan Ackerman. I think they must take over after that.
Yeah, I've actually saw that Ackerman is basically Franco Smith, his team's playing in the final of the Challenge Cup actually.
Of the Challenge Cup, yes.
That's right. Yes, that's
and they're playing Munster this weekend in the quarterfinal.
The quarters. That's right. Come in, Jason. Do you want to say something? Do you want to add something?
If I can just add, the worry is also where is the next level of coaches coming through in our country? Who's gonna take over from another Rassie Erasmus or Jacques Nienaber within our own country at the local level? Who is the future Springbok coach? That is a worry long term for me though.
I think they yes.
Because
the earmarked Dion Davids and Swan Delistic as the next coaches. I think maybe like a dual role or something, because they have been in the system and all of that. But I don't see that happening.
Yeah, same. Yeah, I don't see. Yeah, sorry, Jason. I don't see Sticks or Dion Davids coming in the box coaches.
No, in my personal opinion, the jury is still out on those two, Dion Davids and Swan Delistic.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think the top guys, in my opinion, is Dobbo, Franco Smith, Ackerman. That's not if they want to take a South African-born coach. However, I've read that people like Rawan Algara, his name is in the cap, and but I don't know. But guys, that covers news and notes. I think everybody came here for the Stormers versus Bulls preview. So I think let's jump onto that boat. So guys, let me just share with you a tweet that I posted during this week in response to someone called Mark Keohane. Now Mark Keohane, for those who don't know Mark Keohane, he is a rugby journalist. He was once upon a time, he was the spokesperson for SA Rugby. They called him a spin doctor. Sometimes he talks a lot of nonsense and sometimes he talks facts. But this week I just trolled Mark Keohane a little bit. So I just want to share with you guys a response to a tweet that he posted. So basically, there was a tweet from SA Rugby where they said here, let's go into the tweet. They say here, Jake White says that form will be meaningless and everybody can win on a day when the Vodacom URC playoffs kick off this coming weekend. Okay, so here we have SA Rugby Magazine saying that, and Mark Keohane said he agrees with that. So I just chimed in just to troll Mark Keohane a little bit, and my response there was, it's not about form. Jake White has been figured out. The equation has been solved. Jake White is incapable of doing something new. The definition of insanity is trying the same thing and expecting a different result. So, guys, I was just trolling mock you a little bit. But I think that, like he says there, that form, it won't carry teams this coming weekend. Any team will beat a team this coming weekend. So I agree. I think that basically is right to a point. However, I think that the Stormers, they have the Bulls number. I see Kyle is not here. Okay, but it's fine. He probably joined. Hello, Johan Rugby. Welcome. So Jason, my question to you is: do you think that the Western Province win this past weekend, the 31-7 win against the Bulls? Remember, the Bulls, they fielded basically a URC team. The majority of the team were players with URC experience. The guys were there. Kirk Aronson was there. All those guys were there. So, and the Bulls were, and the Stormers, the Western Province, were fielding like youngsters. They called those youngsters the baby Stormers. Do you think, Jason, that the 31-7 win for Western Province against the Bulls, did that win leave a psychological mark on the Bulls to beat the Stormers this coming Saturday?
Oh yes, most definitely. I believe the Stormers right now are in the Bulls' heads. No, that most definitely left a mark, and it's definitely gonna be a factor this coming weekend in the knockout stages. Because the Stormers know they have the Bulls number. It shows up in recent games when they play the Bulls. Because the Stormers just have that confidence, that know-how, that they know how to beat the Bulls. And the Bulls, because they've been on this losing run against the Stormers, it shows up in the way that they play too. Because there's times in the games against the recent games against the Stormers where they seem a bit afraid, where it shows up in their play.
Yeah, no, definitely. Let me just quickly look at this comment here from Johan. Johan is saying, I think the rush defense can also stop the Stormers, as been proven in the past, honestly. But I think the Stormers will probably win. Yeah, look, the thing is that we'll come later to the point where we explore what the Stormers must do to win. But I think that Munster, and Toulouse, they basically brought out a template on how to beat the Stormers. Munster and Toulouse showed how to beat the Stormers. However, playing the Stormers at Cape Town is a whole different kettle of fish. So, Kyle, welcome back. I see that you had some
No doubt.
Yes.
No, welcome.
Sorry about that.
No worries. It happens. Listen, my question was basically the 31-7 loss to the Western Province in the Currie Cup this past weekend. My question is, do you think that loss will basically put the Bulls in doubt for this coming weekend's match against the Stormers?
I don't think at all, because I personally think that match was used as an experiment from Jake White to see like what the defense was and like certain things tactic wise, because they were playing too one directional. So the rush defense, so I think he was doing to use it because they kicked a lot in behind just to see how it works, but not the whole game, but like just to see. So I think maybe it was an experiment that he did at the cost of the Currie Cup game for this week's game. So I think we shouldn't pay too much attention to it and rather see what's happening this weekend coming.
Yeah, no, 100%. Yeah, I think that obviously the Bulls, they came with a plan. Like you said, that maybe they tried out a couple of things. But as we know that the Western Province, that team that Western Province played there was like a very young team, and also they played with freedom. They didn't have the fear of losing against the Bulls, and something like that also helps teams to actually play with more expression, to play more freely, and sometimes it can cause problems. But what I can see from what Double is doing, he's trying basically to do what Leinster is doing. Leinster is bringing up the academy youngsters into the squad, into the system. And what Dobbo is doing, he's trying for this young Western Province team to be molded into the same system as the Stormers. And that's the same thing that Leinster is currently doing with their team. But I agree with you. I think that we shouldn't read too much into this loss for the Stormers against, sorry, the Bulls against Western Province. I think that uh, the Bulls will come out with a different game plan, different attitude, because they're playing in a knockout quarterfinals against the Stormers. So, guys, we know that Jake White is the man, right? Jake White, he came in after Juan Rupert and Patrice Mosepe, when they bought a majority stake into the Bulls. They came in with money. The Bulls had lots of money to spend, and they brought in Jake White. Now, Jake White, we all know who Jake White is. He is the coach who won the 2007 Rugby World Cup for the South Africa for the Springboks. One of the top coaches in SA Rugby, and he's here for the Bulls since 2020. We know that. We know that COVID hit. The rugby world was in disarray, and Jake White, I think he won the Rainbow Cup. He won the Currie Cup or two during the COVID pandemic. But since then, something changed. Something changed with Jake White. He's playing style. I don't know now if teams figured him out or what the issue is. So what do you guys think? Do you guys still see Jake White as being the right guy to coach the Bulls?
If I might touch on that, Peter.
Sure.
I think Jake White. Yes, to your point, I think Jake White has been found out. Yes, by watching Bulls games, in most of their games, you will see they tend to follow the same plan A, even when things are not going well. And then you wonder sometimes as a neutral watching those games, where's the plan B or the plan C? Is like Jake White stubbornly sticks to his game plan, even when things are not going the way you would like. But we saw this. There's a precedent for this. We saw this when he was the Springbok coach as well. He steadfastly stick to one game plan. And basically because of that, I think that's also how teams have basically figured him out, because he is not very keen on changing the match situation when the need calls for it. So yes, to your point, he's been found out, but that doesn't make him any less of a good coach. But yes, he needs to what's the word? He needs to update his coaching tactics. He needs to be caught up to speed in the modern game a bit. Thank you.
Yeah, no, definitely. Carl, your view?
For me, Jake White is a brilliant coach. Sometimes, what I think is our team's biggest problem is a lack of leadership. Because it's the same like in a rugby. The coach can do all the coaching, but on the field, the coach has no control over what's happening on the field. On the field, you're relying on your group of leaders. So I think that's what the Bulls is lacking. Because in terms of he can set out the plan, but at the end of the day, execution is up to the players and to the leaders that's on the field. So I think with Marcel could see that left, it's been a massive hole. And I read an article today that said he won't be available this weekend. But I think with Jake, he has changed his tactics. Jason said it's right, yes, he one way, but he has changed his tactics because the Bulls has been, since URC, we're playing more expensive brand and throwing the ball around, like they call it champagne rugby. But it's just against the Stormers, then you want to play that old school rugby, kick and chase. Oh, it annoys me. Like, yo, we win teams with expensive rugby, but when you play Stormers, kick and chase, kick and chase.
Yeah. Look, man, I know I can remember in 2006, before the 2007 Rugby World Cup in France, Jake White's Springbok team lost to Australia. I think it was a record Paxla they got against Australia. Then, I think a few months before the World Cup, Jake White brought in Eddie Jones. And when Eddie Jones came in, he brought a different dynamic to Jake White's staff, coaching staff, and background staff. And he brought a different dynamic to the players. All of a sudden, you had this Springbok team that can throw the ball around, doing wraparound moves and scoring tries from first phase. That is what Eddie Jones brought in just before the 2007 World Cup. And obviously, we all know the story after that. The Bosch went on to go win the World Cup. And the Eddie Jones factor was very important there. So what I'm trying to say is, Jake White, he's still a very good coach. However, I think he needs someone in his ear that is also respected in the coaching world. Someone that he respects. Because obviously you are Jake White. You are a Rugby World Cup winner. Who's better than you? You are the man. You understand? So he needs someone that's also a strong personality in his ear to give him tips on how to approach. So I believe if the Bulls maybe can keep Jake White, but then just get another strong, maybe a coach to look at the attacking play. Because like you said, Kyle, is that the Bulls, for some reason, they shut off against the Stormers. They can't attack. But I think what it is that the Stormers, the way they defend, the Stormers don't give teams space on the ball. They are in your face. And if you don't have a fly off to think quick and a center inside your number 12 to think quick, then you'll have the problems. And I think that's the issue that Jake White has currently. Let's just see. There's a couple of comments that came through. Let me just look at the comments quickly. Okay, so there's a comment from Iwan Rugby. He says, by the way, do you guys think that Plumtree will cause problems for us, the Stormers, in the future? Now that he'll be running the Sharks. Remember, the Stormers struggled against him. Yeah, you are definitely, like I said, John Plumtree is going to up the level at the Sharks. He's going to up the level within, I would say, the South African Conference in the URC. John Plumtree is a very astute coach, and he's going to cause problems, definitely. There's a comment from Dale. He says, I also think, I think what's also hurts Jake White was the fact that his back players who just haven't delivered for him, especially when they started playing URC. Yeah, definitely. Sometimes as a coach, you give instructions, but players, they don't follow the instructions. So what can you do as a coach? It's very difficult. Another one from Johan. Let's get it here. Okay, it's Dale. Okay, Johan says here the Bulls went away from that offloading game that they used last season, which worked well for them. Yeah, no, definitely. But like I said, if you have a team that's they're on you on defense, even the offloading game, and the way the Stormers tackle, they gang tackle you, two players, one at the bottom, one on top, and then you have a guy like John Fourie who's over the ball. So it's very difficult for teams against the Stormers when they attack. What does Dale say? Yes, that the 49-0 loss at the Springbok against Australia. Okay, yeah. Australia 2006, definitely. Yeah, and I think that's when they had to bring in Eddie Jones. Last one from Ivan. I agree with you totally about the difference that Eddie Jones made when he joined the box. 100%. Okay, so guys, that is Eddie Jones. So now, let's shift. I just want to find out for you guys. What must Jason Driver, this one is to you. What must the Stormers do to win this game against the Bulls on Saturday? What must they do? Jason, can you hear me? Are you there? I think a technical problem. Jason, are you there? Okay. Okay, I think while Jason sorts out his technical glitches, Kyle, I'll pose the same question to you. What do you think must the Bulls do to win the Stormers on Saturday?
Firstly, we're gonna have to scrum well in that DHL pitch. That's so terrible. I don't know if you watched last week's game. Yeah, it was terrible. The players couldn't even maul. They're running and slipping. So firstly, we need to scrum well. Then we need to stop the Stormers' maul. And then also we need to be there. Dale said Dion Fury. We need to nullify him at the breakdown, like definitely. And then for our game to win, we're gonna have to kick in and play in the right areas and not give them counter-attacking opportunities, and as well as to counter the rush defense. I think like okay, don't know who's that we played against. We just kick grabbers. Curtly Arons come in as first receiver and kick grabbers through, or kicking chips over the top of the defense, because I think that's the only way you can stop the rush defense, or cross kicks, as we saw in the first game last year in December. Nizam Kar scored the cross kick. I think that's the only way we're gonna, because with our hands, it's never gonna work, and we're gonna have to dominate up front. Like they say, the forwards wins. We're gonna really have to dominate up front against Kitsi and Malherbe, and yeah, it's gonna be a great match to watch. But we're gonna have to be hard up front, which I think we can definitely do even without Marcel Kitsi. I mean, we have the stocks. Ruan Vermaak is playing brilliant at the blind side lock, at the number 4 lock, and then we have Johan Grobela. We have good players. It's just now that them stepping up when it really matters. And I think Ambrose Papier is a big difference this past few games. He's looking like the Ambrose Papier again that's played for the Box. So I think that dynamic, and I'm not sure with fly off. If it was up to me, I would go with Monestein, a tried and tested, because I know he won't miss a penalty. Because with Goosen it's out, I'm not sure. But Monestein, I would go with him at fly off with Ambrose Papier, and I think we should be able to win them. It's just overcoming that rush defense is going to be massive, and the pressure that we'll be receiving on defense. But Munster showed us how to do it, so, and how to apply pressure on defense when they're attacking also. Munster showed us how to do it.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think that Munster and Toulouse, they gave the blueprint how to beat the Stormers. However, I think Jason is here. Let me just check quickly. I think it says here mic not connected. Okay, I think he's still not here. It's fine. Yeah, so basically what I think, what the Stormers must do to win, Kyle, the way you said there about the Stormers forwards, I think that Kitsov, Malherbe, Dweba, especially Dweba.
Don't throw straight.
Yeah, man, that is one thing of Dweba. He can't throw in the line out. I don't know, but yeah, it's an issue. But I think what the Stormers must do to win, they must obviously have the foundation up front, which is basically I think that they have basically by default in the system. So to be strong at the set piece, scrum number 1, number 2, lineouts. However, Dweba needs to throw in straight. If Dweba can't throw in the ball in the lineout, we're gonna have problems. I think the Stormers, to win the Bulls, they need to be on the defense. They need to be tight on defense. The rush defense, I think they are starting to perfect the rush defense. They must do more of that. And then when the Bulls kick the ball on our back three, then I think that the guys like your Damien Willemse, the guys at the back, they must keep ball in hand and attack the Bulls. In my opinion, that is what the Stormers must do to win the Blue Bulls this coming Saturday. It's going to be difficult. I think the Bulls, they are strong, they're motivated. It's easier said than done, but it can be done. It was now done for 7 times in a row across Currie Cup and URC, but it can be done. So it's going to be a very interesting game. I must say, I actually got tickets for the game. I wasn't planning to go to watch the game live, but I got tickets for free. So I'll be watching the game at the stadium this coming Saturday. Are you going to the stadium, Carl?
I wanted to go, but this I'm asked to play at the mothers conference on Saturday.
Okay, now it's right. I think that's more important. But I guess you will. Find the results.
That's the sad part. It's also starting at 3, so I must find a way to live stream it.
Yeah, no, I feel it with you. No, it's right. Yeah, so I'll be at the stadium. If you're watching this live stream and you see me at the stadium wearing my green cap, come holla at your brother, holla at me. I will be there. I will like to meet you guys if you're watching this the stream and you'll be at the stadium. Come say hi, and yeah. So finally, Kyle, what's your prediction for this game on Saturday?
Prediction. I think the Bulls will win by 3 or 5, between 3 and 5. I think definitely, because I think Jake White has been hiding from the media all week, even after last week's loss. He sent out Hugo van As to speak after the game, the Curry Cup game. He sent Hugo van As to speak, so he's been hiding out. He hasn't been saying anything in media, so I think he has a few tricks up his sleeve. So we'll definitely win by 3 points or by 5, but not more than that. It's gonna be a very close game. It's gonna be a humding of a game.
Yeah, no, definitely, definitely. Well, my prediction is for the Stormers to win by 5 points. Stormers
Thanks.
by 5 points. Nothing more, nothing less. It's going to be tight. I think it will be very tight, but the Stormers will win by 5 points. Let's see what the guys are saying in the chat. Let's see, Dion Ferry being back is massive boost for the Stormers, especially for the breakdown battle. No, definitely. Mane needs to step up. He's been shaky the past few weeks. Yeah, I actually saw a stat a few days ago where they show the top kickers, goal kickers in the URC, and Mane Libok, he was like probably like 12 with 78% accuracy, and there were many guys ahead of him with 80% accuracies. So I think Mane Libok, he needs to pull up his socks really, especially if he wants to be the backup to Henry Pollard. I think many people a few months said that Mane Libok might be the first choice fly off. However, Henry Pollard, the way he's playing for Leicester in the Premiership, phenomenal. I think Pollard is back. It's very good for us Springbok supporters to have Pollard back to his peak. But I think that if Mane Libok can pull it through for the Stormers in this next couple of matches, he might be the second choice flyer for the Springboks. Johan says here, Mane mustn't crack on Saturday against Munster.
We're gonna kill him. If you wanna kill a team, you go for the general. So we're gonna take out the number 10, and we're gonna destroy him on defense.
I hope not. I hope not. But let's see. But guys, thank you very much, Cal. Thank you very much for joining me once again, for giving your views. I think the game is going to be fabulous to watch. You must enjoy the game. Sorry?
Can I ask you a question before you sign off?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
What do you think of Dwayne Vermeulen? Where is he going to? I just read something before this. He's leaving Ulster at the end of the season.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw that too. I think last time, I think a few months ago, they actually spoke about this, and I think that he might be signing for a team either in France or in Japan. Either France or Japan. It's money, man. Money. The people they must retire.
He have legends fighters at the book. They might not come back.
Yeah, no, definitely. I see you back. I see you back.
Yes, I'm back, Peter.
Okay, yes. Yeah, no, thanks for coming back. But I just want to thank you guys for joining. Oh yeah, sorry, Jason, your prediction for the game, your score prediction.
Oh, for the game, my score prediction.
Yes.
As I predict it will be a tight affair on Saturday. I will go something in the region of 27-23.
So 4 point for who?
In favor of the Stormers.
Okay, 4 point win for the Stormers. Don't below face, okay.
Time will tell.
Yeah, but I think I will. Yeah, I will see. Hopefully, I will do like a review on the game and come back to these predictions. But guys, thank you very much for joining me on this live stream. I appreciate you guys' presence here, your views, your opinions. Thank you very much. All the guys who commented on the comments. Johan Rugby, Dale, all the others that watch this live stream. Thank you very much for joining this live stream, guys. Please, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, subscribe to my channel. Please like this video, and I'll catch you guys on my next video. Thank you, guys. Have a good evening and enjoy the gaming Saturday. Bye.
Bye.
Rugby channel, a start easy vibe. I hope you all subscribe to the best Rugby channel. Peter Rugby Peter, because he's a keeper. Because
If you want to add the steps to that, you are on very local. You are not going to run yourself.
Rugby son baby, 19 versus Shoot Rugby channel, a start easy vibe. I hope you all subscribe to the best Rugby channel. Peter Rugby Peter, because he's a keeper. Big